Hello, Pack fans, and welcome to Wolfpack Watch. I'm your host, Doug Wood, and welcome to the 2019 summer edition of Wolfpack Watch. Joining me, as usual, Coach Jim Bob Bryant. Coach Bryant, thanks for being with me.
Appreciate you being here with us.
We are recapping the summer activities and getting from Coach Jim Bob what the upcoming season is going to look like. Coach, give us a rundown of what's been happening since we ended last season.
We had 90 that came out varsity and JV for the spring game versus Rome. Much different outcome this year against Rome than what it was last year. You know, coming in last year with a new offense, new defense, and new offensive defensive approach. You know, everything was new last year, and Rome's a really good football team on top of that. But I think having a year under our belt with our defensive coordinator, Dana Arthur, and then, the offense that we installed last year, I thought our kids were much more confident when they stepped on the field, and I think it showed versus a really good Rome team.
Yeah, that Rome spring game was rather physical, as most people know how it ended, and we won't go over that. But how do you see the physical nature of this team improving over time?
These guys they've had 2 years in our strength and conditioning program and 2 years in our pre-practice and Oklahoma drills that we do during practice. And these guys, this is a hungry team. They compete for everything every day within their teams. They compete in the weight room. They compete outside doing speed and agility. We've had 3 padded camps this year, and they've competed at every one. They know that every position that we have right now on our depth chart is all penciled in, which means it can be erased easily. So these guys are fighting every day for not only their team, but they're fighting for plays on Friday night, and they're fighting for reps, because it'll be a week-to-week and a day-to-day battle for who's going to be our starter at each position. And I think these guys have taken on a mindset that 2 things, there's going to be no team that's going to be in better shape than we are, and there's going to be no team that's going to play with the physical nature that we play with, and that's what our guys have really accepted this spring and this summer, and I'm excited to start the season with them.
And since that spring game back in April or May, and whenever it was, the summer activities that you guys have had, you've had obviously the practices, you've had the competitions. How's that been going?
It's been going really good. We drafted 6 teams. We had 6 captains, and about halfway through the season, Kellen Altenreef's team was in the lead, and Kyle Bird's team was in second. So to start the summer, after the first 2 weeks, we made a little change. Kellen's team won the first season, so they're the first season champion. So now we started the second season. And what I did was I took the first place captain, which was Kellen, and I gave him the last place team to lead the rest of this summer. And the second place team got the 5th place, third place got 4th place. So we just swapped the captains so these guys could get an opportunity to lead a different group and really express extreme ownership, and not only their team but our team as a whole. And right now in the second season, Kellen Altenreef's new team, who was in last, is in first place right now, and Brock Travelstead's team and Noah Lean's team are tied for second, with Jacob Amos, Bird, and Andrew Smith fighting for that 4th spot right now, and hopefully trying to get into the 2nd or 3rd spot. This will be our last week of competition.
And now that you have that last week competition coming up, I believe next week, we're 10 days away from school starting, and I believe we have an event coming up next week at the end of the week. We
do. So next, at the end of next week, we have mini camp starting tomorrow. We're bringing the kids in the afternoon. We normally bring them in the morning. We're going to lift them, and then we're going to do just helmets on the field, just kind of going through fundamental stuff for this week, kind of getting them in tune to what our practice schedules will look like when official practice starts on July 25th. July 27th, which is a Saturday coming up, we'll have picture day. So we'll have varsity, JV, and freshman pictures on that day, which starts at 9 a.m. And then the following week, we come back on Monday, and then we start official full contact on August 1st, which is next Thursday. And then August 2nd will be our Meet the Pack night, and then our blue-white game instead of the blue-gray game this year, since we got new blue jerseys, so and new white jerseys last year, Under Armour. So we're going to go to the blue-white game within the varsity and JV. We're also going to have the National Signing Day for our incoming freshmen on the Meet the Pack night. Meet the Pack will be from 6 to 8 p.m. The charge to get in to Meet the Pack and the blue-white game, we're accepting closed donations for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. We'll have an 18-wheeler out here. We'll have players taking in closed donations. Any closed donation that you can donate, that'll get you into the Meet the Pack and get you into the blue-white game that night. And if you don't have clothes to give, then $5 donation to get in. All of that money and all of those clothes accepted will go to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, so our kids and community can give back a little bit. That's
an awesome cause. Everybody, get your clothes out here and let's fill up the stadium as much as we can for Meet the Pack night and the blue-white game. Going into the season, we talked before this interview about what your outlook is for the season and what the kids are expecting out of themselves and what to expect this season. Give us your thoughts as we head into the 2019 fall season.
Well, I'm really excited about the kids' attendance this spring and summer, the way that they compete for everything. Again, competition is our big thing, and these guys are really competing, and nothing, we talked about this earlier, nothing invested, nothing lost. So these guys have got a lot invested by coming out here for 8 weeks before school starts at 7:30 in the morning, leading into spring practice, having meetings and walkthroughs, and with no footballs because you can't have a football before school. But we did walkthroughs and meetings leading up to spring practice, and the guys that are on the varsity in JV right now, those guys have made all their days during the spring and summer. And as much as kids get pulled in so many different directions nowadays with social media and video games and just different things that they can do, for these kids to make all of their days during the spring and summer is a testament to not only their work ethic, but what this season means to them. They've really taken to heart our motto this year of BTC, of being the change, being the first North Paulding football team that's been in a 7A region to make it past the first round of the playoffs. We were close last year, but didn't quite make it. Thanks, Ref. But anyway, don't print that. But anyway, going into this year, our kids have bought into everything we're doing, strength and conditioning wise, workouts. We've had 3 padded camps. We had a padded camp at Paulding County. We had a FCA padded camp at Rome, and then we just finished up this past week on Wednesday and Thursday, had a padded camp at Creekview High School. We got to go up against the defending 7A state champions in Milton. In team competition, 30-minute period, we scored 6 times and they scored 1. So Milton lost a lot, but still, going up against Milton, coming off a 7A state championship, gave our kids a lot of confidence that they played with a lot of confidence that day. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about this team because these guys have put in a lot of work to get to the season. I'm excited to see what they'll do once the lights turn on Friday night.
You also recently had the Chris Conley camp out here at North. Talk a little bit about that.
Chris Conley comes. We started last year. He did a camp. Had about 150 kids last year. Had about 100 this year. Would have been more, but we had there's a middle school 7-on-7 tournament that day at North Cobb, which I had 3 of my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade head coaches are all varsity coaches for me. So we decided we were going to make that change this year and have them being coached by varsity coaches for 7 years instead of being coached by varsity coaches for 3, just their 10th grade through their 12th grade year. So now all of our varsity coaches are coaching our freshmen as well. We've got 5 players, 5 of our varsity players that are assisting coach each team, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. The offensive coordinator for the 6th grade team is my starting quarterback, is Kyle Bird. So that's going to help him, and that's going to help the team, help the 6th grade team, because he knows the offense inside and out. Boone Anderson is our offensive coordinator for our 7th grade team. And then Sean Bailey, who coaches running backs for us, is calling the offense for the 8th grade team. So we would have had about 150 kids, but about 50 of those kids were at the 7-on-7 tournament, which our 7th grade team finished 2nd, lost by 3 points. Had a touchdown that was called back and had one to hit a guy in the hands that dropped it. Then our 8th grade team actually won the 7-on-7 championship versus Marietta. Our 6th grade team didn't compete in the tournament, but having those young kids here and having Chris Conley come back and instill some wisdom in the kids and talk to them about faith, family, and football at the end, and talking to them about work ethic and what it took for him to get where he's at, and then just having a good time with the kids. It was a really fun day for all those kids involved.
Yeah, congratulations to the 8th grade team for winning that 7-on-7 over at North Cobb. Speaking of standouts, I believe you have a standout this year in the varsity squad. Our first North Paulding All-American, Brock Travelstead, our kicker. Give a little props to him.
Brock is as hard a working kid as I've ever been around, at any position. He comes before school and kicks during the season. He comes out after school during the spring when we're not doing any team activities. He comes out on the field and kicks before soccer and lacrosse gets on the field. He's a kid that every accolade he gets, he's richly deserved it, because he works his butt off at everything he does. Great kid, good family. Louisville, who he committed to, is getting a great kicker, and that was his number one choice from day one. And the guy's the special teams coordinator there is a good friend of mine. He's from North Carolina, Stu Holt, and recruited the crap out of him and got him there. And then, Brock went out to California to the top 12 kickers for Chris Saylor. He brought 45 kickers out there, but then he also went and tried out for what used to be the U.S. Army All-American game, is now the All-American Bowl, and he was selected to kick in that All-American game. So congratulations, Brock. Great kicker. He just got back in town Wednesday. He got back Thursday morning at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then called me the day before and said, "Coach, and I'm going to get back about 4 o'clock in the morning. Can I go with the team to Creekview?" I said, "Well, they're not doing any kicking." He said, "Well, Coach, I just want to be with my team." So he got in at 4 o'clock in the morning, met us up here at 6:45, and came to the Creekview camp and supported his teammates, which is what a good teammate does. And I'm excited as heck for Brock to go out and kick in San Antonio, Texas, and we'll be out there supporting him the whole time.
Can't wait to see him in that game, repping the North Paulding history that we have here. It'll be nice to see him out there. Congratulations, Brock. Well-deserved recognition on your part. Well, Coach, before we break here, is there anything else that you want to add before we get on out of here?
I had a couple other notes. I think we hit most of them. We did 7-on-7 this summer. We did 7-on-7. We started a 7-on-7 league. So every Tuesday we would be at a different site. It was us, Hiram, South Paulding, and Douglas County. So for 4 Tuesdays, 2 in June and 2 in July, 3 of those schools came to us one Tuesday. The next Tuesday, all of us went to Hiram, then all of us went to South, and all of us went to Douglas County. So that was really good, really, really competitive. We built a lot of depth at those 7-on-7s as well. Played a lot of kids, took about 50 kids to each one of them, and everybody got to get on the field. We went through first team, second team, third team, and then got some JV guys out there and got some reps as well. We've also got some new hires this year. Coach Vinus down at Moses hired a young history teacher right out of Reinhardt that is also wants to coach football. His name is Luke Hayes. He's going to assist Coach Hines on the offensive line. He's going to be working with the tackles. Coach Hines is going to be working with the center and guards. We hired Anthony Mandani. Comes to us from Chapel Hill High School after coaching 14 years in Texas. He's going to coach our tight ends and our H-backs. And then, we're talking about my varsity coaches that are the head coaches for the middle school. 6th grade head coach is Ken Conover, who's also coaches our varsity defensive backs. 7th grade coach is Colton Dickerson, who's also one of our freshman coaches. And then the 8th grade head coach is Sean Bailey, who's also our running backs coach on the varsity. So right now, those are our new hires. We also made John Morgan, who was basically he was just our head freshman coach. He is now still the head freshman coach, but he will also coach varsity inside linebackers. And Morgan Mefford got married. She was our trainer, great trainer. Love her to death. Going to miss her. But we've got another good trainer in Hannah Boland. She started with us a couple of weeks ago. Has been out here every morning with us since she's been here, and she's got North Carolina roots. Her dad's a football coach in North Carolina, so we know. Yeah, so we know some of the same people. So she's going to do a good job, and we're excited to have her. And then we've got a new athletic director. Ryan Dyer. Ryan and I are good friends, and I saw him this morning at church, and he asked me, his family and my family were going to go out to lunch after church, but I had to be here working football. I told him we'd have to take a rain check. But I'm excited for Ryan. Great basketball career here, especially last year. Did something that's never been done here before in basketball, and he and his assistant coaches and players deserve a lot of credit. They did a great job, and now he's stepping down from that role and turning it over to Coach Conrad. He's going to do a great job with basketball as well, and now Coach Towers is going to do a great job as our new athletic director. So I'm excited to work with him.
To Coach Dyer, as I call him, because I do not call him Ryan, congratulations. I know I've told you congratulations on text, but this is my verbal congratulations to you. And to Coach Conrad, congratulations as well. Well-deserved on both parts. Well, Coach, that's a lot of information leading us into the 2019 season. Yes. I think we in this room, Mr. Harkins, me and you, are all excited, as well as thousands of other Wolfpack fans that are going to be watching this. The players will be excited. We're ready to kick this off. Who's our first game against? What's the schedule look like?
All right, so we're scrimmaging Hiram on August 16th at Hiram at 7:30, and then the first game will be at Paulding County the following week.
So the 23rd.
Yep.
So August 16th at Hiram for the scrimmage game, August 23rd for the opening game at Paulding County. We have Meet the Pack here a week from next Friday night, August 2nd, 6 to 8, 6 to 8?
6 to 8,
6
Meet
to
the
8,
Pack, and then 9 to 11 is the blue-white game.
They're going to keep me up late, way past my bedtime, doing the announcing for the blue-white game.
We get some
I
coffee.
appreciate that. Coach, I thank you for joining me, as usual.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back and do it again whenever we can update you with some more information. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Got one more thing for you guys before we sign off. Last year we did a touchdown tattoo, okay, and we did the turnover teeth. Okay, so this year we've changed it up a little bit. Turnovers will be the knockout knuckles or knockout shots. So the knockout knuckles, okay, for the defense. And for the offense this year, we're going to have the touchdown chain.
Oh, here
so
we go.
This is a nice one.
Hurricane-esque, although it's probably not as big.
So it's a wolf head.
That is awesome.
Held together by a couple other wolf heads. I'll put it on backwards. There it goes. So the touchdown chain.
Excellent.
So now we can sign off.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Yes,
We
sir.
will see you guys next time. Go Pack.
Go Pack.